Name a white person that killed a black person that is not or have not been held accountable in the last 5 years.
George Zimmerman.
I'm gonna be honest, this is not a laughing matter, but the moment I Googled Zimmerman and I saw his face,
George Zimmerman wasn't even white.
Just say one thing. I just want to answer your question. Who killed who or whatnot. Cal Rittenhouse was 17 years old, white boy that murdered two or three black kids in Michigan during a protest. He was acquitted on all charges.
yeah, and the difference is he was attacked and he warned them and they still chased him. They hit him with a skateboard and one was pointing a gun. You can't compare that to somebody with a hand in the back and says, touch me one more time and you'll see.
Jordan Penny, I think that's his name. He choked out that black homeless man on a train in New York recently, was also acquitted of charges. So I guess
neither one of those was killed. Stop.
You know, but he was pointing out like why there could be, I know you don't think it's true, but there could be like a sense of white power supremacy in this country, because sometimes when white people do certain crimes, they're not held to the same extent as black people or other people do. And so you were asking him to give names. I gave you two, and one was actually the same age as the guy, the black boy that just killed the white guy. And he was acquitted of all his charges. He was also a 17-year-old white boy in Wisconsin.
Happens all the time.
And it's like, well, why was he acquitted when he actually murdered someone? You all are saying that,
because they didn't murder anybody.
They did, though. What do you mean?
No,
Cal
they didn't.
Rittenhouse definitely murdered 2 or 3 people. Are you familiar with the story?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you can't just make that statement then.
I absolutely can, because if the court of law determined that they was acquitted of the charges, then that means that he's not a murderer.
Yeah, but in this situation, most people won't accept that because they think the court is corrupted. That justifies them to think in specific way or advocate for certain reaction because they don't have a choice.
No, that means that the system worked in his favor based on who he was, because that wouldn't have worked.
You can't just automatically say somebody is when they got tried in the court of law.
And the law is always fair, right? And the law is always fair, right?
Absolutely it is in this situation.
I'm gonna tap out. I'm done now.
Because if the evidence is showing that he's not guilty, then why would I say that he's not guilty?
In the case of Daniel Penny and Neely that passed away, the medical examiner said this, no toxicology result imaginable is going to change my opinion, she said, even if they showed enough fentanyl to put down an elephant. So no amount of drugs will change your opinion.
We're done. White people are. You want to say you're tired from what? We're tired. Black people say we're tired from what? You're tired of what? Tired of what? DEI, you're tired of what? Having the standards lowered for you everywhere? Tired of what? People walking around on eggshells not to offend you? Tired of what exactly? What are you tired of? What are you so tired of all the time? We're tired. We white people are tired. We're tired of hearing about it. It's 2025. This is America. Get a job. Dress yourself in them. Put some shoes on, stop with the slides, sweatpants, put some shoes on, put some pants on, get a job, speak English properly, be respectful, be considerate, salute the flag, and shut up. Gosh, I've had enough of it, but no one wants to say this. Everyone's thinking it, but no one wants to say it because everyone's afraid. Everyone's afraid because they know if you say it in real life, you're going to get shot. And they say, oh, say that to a black person. Why? Because they're going to shoot me? No, thanks. Yeah, I'm good. Same reason I don't go into the lion's den in the zoo. I'm not about to get eaten. So they say, oh, you wouldn't say that in real life. Yeah, because you can't handle it. Because you're maniacs, and you admit it. And the other reason people don't want to say it because they don't want to be the bad guy, because it's in poor taste. They don't want to get fired. They don't want to get name called. I don't give a shit. Needs to be said.
I found this clip from Officer Tatum. labeled Nick Fuentes is right about black people. I don't want to agree with the guy. The guy have gangster views. By his standard, I won't even exist. Mulatto, we won't even exist officially. Dilo, remember to subscribe. But by his standard, he's right. I won't dare to say that sometimes around certain black people because I know I have to square up. And maybe they might have a knife. Justify certain things.
Yeah, that has to be the most asinine thing that you can even try to express. Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked. He was chased down, cornered. A guy tried to take his weapon. He shot him. Another person tried to use a deadly weapon against him, which was a skateboard at the time. He ended up shooting him, and another person pulled a gun on him. And what else could he have done but protect himself lawfully in a place that he belonged? This is a very different situation. You have a young man who brought a knife to a track meet, which is already illegal, bringing a knife on the premise of a sporting event. And then you have the person, obviously, with the evidence that we have so far, is premeditating a stabbing because he has his hands in the bag and he's telling them, touch me and see what happens. You only need a split second to develop premeditation. So if you have a plan that you're going to use a weapon against somebody before you use the weapon, that's premeditation. And not utilizing equal force against a person is another uphill battle for him. Someone pushing you does not necessitate you to use deadly force against them. In no world is that legal, especially not in the state of Texas.
If somebody pushed me, my father would tell me push him back. If there's many people, my father would say, well, officially better talk to the teacher because I can always protect you. But if I told my father I'm going to bring a knife to defend myself, my father would slap me. He would be like, why? You're going to escalate and you're going to go in prison and then you're going to have to protect something else.
Let me ask you a question, in your opinion, Brandon, of Dominique Alexander. That press conference, I think we both agree, was absolutely appalling. He managed to butcher not just regular English grammar, but he managed to butcher the facts, for example, of Kyle Rittenhouse case. How does someone with not just his inabilities, but his criminal record become a voice in the public eye for someone like the family of Carmelo Anthony?
I didn't expect them to say somebody with a criminal record is defending somebody in a self-defense case when he had a knife to protect himself at the place where he's not supposed to have a weapon.
Will, this is just a continuation of the manipulation from black leaders to just pimp out these families for money. This man is not qualified whatsoever, and I can put my life on it that the defense team is literally want to throw up thinking about this guy litigating or putting information out in the public, and he's an idiot. He can't even say defense. What did he say? Self-defense. The other day he said self-defense. He don't even know how to say self-defense. And then also, I think what his objective is, and people may be missing this, is that they want to get the public to be on their side in order to taint the jury pool. Because as much disinformation they can put out there, as much sympathy they can garnish from the surrounding public, when it's time to do jury selections, they're going to have a lot of people that have sympathy towards Carmelo Anthony, which could create a hung jury situation.
Look, man, all I know is you got a bunch of pictures like this, mock shots. I'm like, bruh, what the heck is this? Felony injury to a child 2009, forging a check 2009, leading police on high-speed chase 2009, stealing a car 2000. Dude, I'm like, what the offensive physical contact 2050, probation violation 2006, felony theft of property. Hey man, what the heck is this? And then undated theft, making false report, evading arrest, continuous violence against misdemeanor assault. That's like me being a wife beater and hey man, I'm going to help you defend your case because you beat your wife.
Face of Dallas activism against police brutality and claims of racial discrimination is now facing a claim of domestic violence. Steve Pickett joining us live from Irving with more on Dominique Alexander.
We know there is a police investigation right now, Doug. Dominique Alexander telling me by phone today he had a dispute with the mother of his children. He said he didn't hit or hurt anyone. However, for whatever reason, that woman ended up in the hospital's ER here.
That is a sense of betrayal to me.
Alinka Green stood with Dominique Alexander just 2 days ago. He received a call this morning, learning of a police investigation into alleged domestic abuse involving Alexander and the mother of his children.
From what I understood, it was very violent to the point to where she had to go to the hospital.
You can't claim to fight evil and then stand aside when someone that you're friends with commits such an injustice.
It's not even supposed to be funny. You have an ally with a black fist like this. Black power, defend the black, defend the woman. And now your lady, well, nothing happened, but she ended up in the hospital. What, you put something in her food? I don't know, man. It's just like, the hypocrisy is wild.
Activist Jeff Hood, the same man who led with Alexander the Dallas protest against police brutality on July 7, 2016, when 5 police officers were shot, he said he saw injuries on the body of Alexander's girlfriend on yesterday. Took her to a DPD substation to file a family violence complaint.
Steve, it wasn't 2 weeks ago that we were out in the streets in Deep Ellum protesting, marching, screaming, shouting against violence against women. And here we are today seeing one of the chief leaders of that protest having committed a despicable act of violence against his partner.
Alexander, by phone this afternoon, denied any physical attack against the woman. He called it a family dispute.
It certainly hurts the movement when accusations like this are directed at leadership, and that's why we're held to a high responsibility.
But if somebody defends you so hard that you're not allowed to be canceled because the movement is that important?
So, first of all, you have Charlie Kirk saying you represent the family. You're not a lawyer, correct?
Not at all.
So,
Not at all.
So explain for the public your role in this case.
So the Next Generation Action Network, of course, is founded here in Dallas, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex since 2014. We are the advocacy arm. Our organization is an advocacy-led organization. We are not the attorneys. The attorney for this case is Mike Howard. We do the advocacy around making sure that people are aware of this situation and supporting and how to support this family and to ensure that this family's rights are not violated.
So you're a supposed grifter. You don't stand with them. You don't get paid as a lawyer. You just scream their message louder, and with that kind of mentality, you might try to resonate with other people by using somebody else's message to empower the message that you want to empower, but you're telling them it's the same message. I'm on your side. Let me speak for you.
And so this hate, this race, this bigotry wasn't introduced by us, right? It was introduced by them, right? And I'm going to say this, Roland. I don't know if you even remember this because I was on the panel for the DPD police chief, and I believe I had this guy coming after me, and I used this quote, and I said it on your show, and it was quoted in other publications, even the New York Times. We will never ask the oppressor for permission to liberate our people. I don't know if you remember me.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember.
We will never ask that. And I will say that 10 years later. Don't get mad when you come after ours and then we respond and support ours, right? And so I'm not here to apologize or basically give an excuse onto why we are supporting Carmelo Anthony. We are supporting him because if you can support your white baby, we can support our black kid.
I just don't understand somebody with such a history is going to defend me, but when defending me, he's like, I'm standing up for my allies against an oppressor. This is not a BLM protest, but to them, it does feel like that.
And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting non-stop about this case.
The father has been saying consistently, we need to forgive and forget and go forward because it's not about race. Just like this guy says, it's not about race. But at best, if you come over here, it might be even disrespectful. We might want to use your voice to challenge the White Lives Matter protest over there.
You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any...
That's called white guilt. No, let it talk.
We want to use that, but other than that, we don't need anything because we will control our own narrative. And for some odd reason, many people keep making comparisons of Kyle Rittenhouse and Carmelo, but then still you want to say it's not about race. But we're challenging our oppressors and we're going to cover for our allies.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Buta fire na mi blonde, kush, hash, purple, skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, jam, durlo, que ta, verdetta, welcome.